Alright, so today we are at Claydence Show Gallery. This District 15 freehold project that's going to TOP in the Q1 part of 2026. It's a little bit like New York, Manhattan style, where you get to see those brick-like structures when you drive past the streets of New York City. I think in Singapore, it's not easy to find facade that was inspired through that era. Nowadays, in order to hunt for a freehold development, you have to go for something that has been en bloc previously. Claydence belongs to one of the category. I'm going to bring out the map to show the exact locale. So it is sitting right in the middle of Steele Road, starting from Eunos MRT, which is D14, all the way heading towards the Sea Line, where Marine Terrace and Marine Parade MRT station is going to be located. I think a lot of parents are going to love this as well because this is 1 kilometer from 3 very popular primary schools. One is CHIJ Katong, Haig Girls Primary, as well as Tao Nan School. Sometimes you look at high-rise apartments and you look at boutique projects, you might be wondering what are the core fundamental differences in terms of not just lifestyle, but as well as pricing, movement, appreciation, growth. So let's talk about the key difference between a boutique project versus a large-scale project. Nowadays, if you want to go for new launches, a high-rise version will definitely fall into the 99 years category. Comparing to Claydence, Claydence is 28 units. It belongs to the boutique category. Some people love boutique projects because they want to have the privacy. They don't want to live in a hugely dense development because sometimes if you live in a 500, 600, 700 or maybe 1,000 unit condominium project, when it comes to weekends, you either have to book the function room, you have to book the BBQ pits, you have to book the tennis court. So for private property owners that love to have privacy, they usually hunt for boutique developments. That's one of the key fundamental differences. Now when it comes to pricing, most of the time, boutique projects will flourish in terms of price growth when the surrounding 99 years project has already moved up to a new benchmark level. Maybe Wayne, please help me to flash the screen a little bit. Have a look at Wayne. He's hiding over there. Okay. We charted out 4 main lines because for those of you who are very keen in D15, these are the 3 projects that has been launched. Number 1 is of course Continuum. If you look at the light blue line, they're hovering in the range of about 2,750 to close to about $2,800 per square foot. If you look at Grand Diamond and Tembusu Grand, these are 99 years government land sales project. They're intersecting in the range of about 25 to 26 PSF. And look at Claydence, which is the purple line. This is intersecting in the median range of about 2,500 plus per square foot, which hits some of the notes of the 99 years new launch developments. What's going to happen in future is that the 99 years launches at Grand Diamond and Tembusu Grand about 3 to 4 years later, the first-time buyers are going to move up in terms of their asking price by probably $300 per square foot. And that is going to create a new benchmark for 99 years project in D15. That means that if you enter into a freehold project that is lower than Continuum, but around the same PSF range as the 99 years new launches, you're going to be in a safety benchmark zone. When we talk about price growth for boutique project, is that you have to make sure that the entry PSF range falls into this safety benchmark zone so that in future, when 99s move up even further, you have definitely that potential room to move upwards as well. Out of the 28 units here, you have 1 stack of 1 bedder, which is 614 square feet, 3 stacks of 2 bedders, which comprise of 2 bedders as well as 2 plus study, and you have another 3 stacks of 3 bedroom as well as 3 plus study kind of setup. Out of the 28 units, 4 of them are penthouses. They are all slightly larger than what you get in most new launches, and I think one of the reasons is because of the additional buyer's stamp duty cooling measures. Now right now, in the year 2023, we already have 5 different rounds of cooling measures. This means that compared to the past, where a lot of families, they love to buy multiple units without the ABSD, but because right now with ABSD, most of the time, a family that's dual income, they will own 1 unit for own stay, the other one for investment. And this has created a new behavior in property investment because your name is so precious. When you come to Claydence, I think one of the main thing is that the units are sizable, is functional, is really meant for staying. And even if let's say this is going to be your second property for investment, I think it's still good in terms of rental because when your tenants come and visit, they're going to see the size that they can get. Now let's dive in a little bit to to look at the site model, the developer and architect has thought about the thought process of living in this space. Most of the time, if you drive around Telok Kurau or other boutique projects, level 1 will be solely used for the car park. You seldom see a basement car park for boutique developments. But for Claydence, if you look at an entire level 1, these are all reserved for communal facilities, including a beautifully done drop-off point, nice landscaping features right on level 1. The guardhouse is right here. You're gonna have that drive towards your basement parking. So it's gonna lead you towards your residential lobby to head upwards towards the entire project. Your pool is located at the sky terrace deck, and this is situated right here, facing towards the back. To give everybody an orientation, this is along the corner plot of Steel Road as well as Kun Sing. This is a corner stack for the 2-bedroom version. The other side, you have that corner stack for the 3-bedroom version. Because you have that all 4 corners, that allows you to have a dual opening in terms of brightness coming into the unit. At the same time, you don't feel that you just have one set of views. And if you were to come back home every day, you're driving through Steel Road and then you exit through Kun Sing Road. I think this is a nice setup. Now take note, there's an older project right here. There's another development right here as well. And this frontage towards Steel Road, this frontage towards Kun Sing. So once it gives you that orientation, I think it's easier to select. Right in the middle, that is the intersection point because that's the only 1-bedder stack available, which is 614 square feet. And that belongs to stack number 3. 614 square feet is quite unheard of in today's market because most of the 1-bedder or maybe studios are created about 400 plus, 500 plus square feet. This gives you a very sizable master living dining. Open kitchen concept, you have the balcony you're looking for. Balcony screens are sort of pre-approved. That depends whether you want to put in as well. So if you're hunting for a 2-bedder, you have 3 stacks to select from, out of which 2 of them are the 2 plus study version. So it starts from stack number 4, 5 to 6. Now, the 2-bedder without the study room belongs to stack number 6, which is located towards the back. This starts at 78 square feet. And of course, if you want to have a study room, then you can either select from stack number 4 or stack number 5, because those are at 872 square feet and 915 square feet. The price difference between these 3 stacks right here is averaging about 100,000 to 200,000. So for example, if you're hunting for a quantum range of close to about $2 million range, then you can go for the 2-bedder range at 786 square feet. Some of the 2-bedders in today's new launch market is at about 600 plus square feet. So if you have a look at this, you come in, you have like a nice kitchen that's contained right here, and you come to a living dining. This only represents itself on a lot of new launches 3-bedders format. But when you look at this, it's really a nice squarish sizable size for the 2-beds layout. And this is what we call the 2-beds 2-bath. It's not even a 2-bed 1-bath version. So you're going to have a very livable kind of setup. So stack number 4 and stack number 5, they belong to the 2 plus 1 layout, and that's technically the 2 plus study version. Let's have a look at stack number 4 first, which is the 872 square feet. So 872 square feet is a longish shape. The key fundamental difference is that you have a study room right tucked over at this direction. If you notice, you actually have 2 different facings. One is your living dining that's facing towards here. It's almost not possible nowadays to find a 2-bedder with this wide kind of layout. So most of the layouts in today's market, they belong to the narrow version with only an opening at the front. But this is what we call a wide layout, that you have the living and dining fronting towards the same window facing of the living area. For master room, you have a different facing with its own balcony as well. And when we look at stack number 5, which is the largest version, the additional point to note is that for those of you who love to have an enclosed kitchen, this is the size to go for. In terms of PSF range, they are around the range of about $2,500 plus to $2,600 per square foot. Now let's move on to 3-bedder. You're gonna have 3 different choices as well. If you don't need the study room and you're hunting for quantum, the first range to go for is stack number 7, which is over here, and this is a corner stack in the range of about $2.7 million. In terms of the size, you have 1076 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, storage space is right here, enclosed kitchen version, longish shaped living, dining and balcony. If you look at the second version, if let's say you need a slightly bigger space, then you can go for the 1002 plus square feet version, which is over at stack number 1. This setup will be great if you love to host people. So compared to the first version of the 3-bedder, which is on stack number 7, having that narrowing layout, This has a wide angle layout that is facing towards your balcony, so your living dining. You can have an alfresco dining right at your balcony space as well. The open kitchen concept with like a nice separating bar counter table. So this is what we call a triangular layout that you can host people very easily. You have a study room also tucked right beside. Range is about $2.9 million. If you want to go for the largest version, which is stack number 2, the key fundamental difference is that you have a powder room for your guests, dumbbell layout with like a junior master right towards the side here. This gives you an option to either leave your bathroom common or you can make it ensuite by making a door right here. If you have a live-in helper, the storeroom can be converted into a live-in helper living space. You still have an additional study. You still have one more storage room right here. So I think this layout is perfect for those of you who need space as well as an enclosed kitchen version. I'm going to bring up 3 different 3D models to help you to visualize a little bit better. So let's have a look at the first version, which is at stack number 2. This is a 2+ study layout version. As you walk in, immediately you will see your kitchen on your left, the living dining on the right, and they're all facing towards the same opening. The walkway towards the bedroom is also minimized. I think this is what we call efficient layout compared to some of the layouts with longer walkways. Study room is on the left, you have a common room, following which into your master, where you have your own private balcony right in the master room. Let's blow up stack number 4, the 1313 square feet. So if you were to walk in, you're gonna have that dumbbell layout version. Right hand side is a flexible junior master or a common room with its own common bathroom right outside that bedroom. So powder room is also right located on your right hand side, and then of course as you look towards your left, that's where your kitchen, storeroom as well as the study room is being located. Front facing towards your balcony, 2 bedrooms on the left hand side. I'm gonna bring out the duplexes. So we have 4 different penthouses. One is the 2-bed version, one is a 3-bedder version, and 2 of them are the largest ones, which are 2,164 square feet as well as 2,185 square feet. These are the 4-bedder version. Based on our research and observation of the current new launch market, a lot of the developers have stopped building duplex penthouses. Most of the penthouse are basically at the top level, single plate. They look quite similar to the normal floor plate of a non-penthouse unit. The only key differences is that they have a loft ceiling right in their living room or maybe in the master room. And that allows you to build a 5 square meters loft, but most of the time, you definitely have to pay for the strata space. You don't get the duplex version anymore. So they range from 2.5 million to 3.6 for the 2 and 3-bedder version. For the largest version, they're in the range of $5 million. So let's have a look at the first penthouse. If you are to bring out the 3D version, I'm just going to show you one version right here. This is the stack number 1, 2164 square feet layout. You're going to have a roof terrace on level 2 and junior master as one of your common bedrooms sits. And your common bedroom also has its own ensuite version. And that allows you to look down towards your living dining because there's a nice loft space that you can look downwards. So when you come towards level 1, that's where your kitchen study as well as 2 of your bedrooms are being located. With that nice spread, you don't have to worry about like a too huge of a roof terrace space that is being wasted off because most of the space are nicely populated, so you don't really have to worry about everybody on the same level, having that noise flowing through the entire apartment. Having that split level then gives you that nice, perfect flexibility. So right behind me, this is like a mock-up of the kitchen. You're gonna have the induction cooker as well as your oven space, and washer cum dryer is also going to be provided. So when you come for the sales gallery, the technical specifications are all presented in the brochure as well, but you also can look and feel on the material choices on the bathroom wall, the feature wall, the flooring, as well as some of the key items that is being utilized for Claydence. Now in terms of TOP date, that's going to be 2026. So let's have a look at the key 2 fundamental differences between a new launch versus a resale project. Based on PLB own methodology terms, this pricing behavior is what we call the collective wisdom or the herd mentality. If you look at a brand new project versus a resale project, for a resale project that's maybe about 20 years old, even though it's freehold, but all the owners actually enter into the project at different timings. However, compared to a brand new project, all the owners enter into the project at the first phase of launch. The developer might take the next 1 to 2 years to completely sell out the project, but everybody enter at around the same PSF level. When when that happens, a herd mentality or collective wisdom is being formed because this is like an unspoken rule. 3, 4, 5 years later, no first-hand owners will sell into the resale market at the same purchase price that they bought. Let's have a look at Seaside Residences. That project has just TOP probably about a year back. The first-hand owners enter at this price range. I'm going to bring out the square foot charts and take a look at that invisible margin that every owner has placed on top of their entry price. And that is what we call the herd mentality, because everybody will only be happy to exit at around this PSF range before they decide to sell. If they don't hit that range, maybe they will just continue to live in it or rent it out because there's no urgency for them to exit. This cannot happen in the resale project. It only happens in a new launch development, and that's one of the first key fundamental difference. Second fundamental difference is that for brand new projects, you have the 1-year defect warranty that's given for developers, and they'll be happy to rectify for you. After that, you can kickstart a renovation phase. That gives you an advantage over a resale project because resale, you have to buy as is. They definitely will have to put in additional cash to renovate the place, to fix up any form of as-is kind of condition. There's no defect warranty period. You have to buy what we call caveat emptor. So for those buyers that love to have their brand new status, most of the time they go for new launch versus resale. Third point is that most of the time people decide on this based on their time preference. So if you need to move into a place immediately and you don't like to rent, then by all means resale is very suitable for you. But if you don't need that immediate move-in kind of preference into your apartment, the key fundamental difference will be then the progressive payment progress versus the normal payment scheme. Let's have a look at the two differences in terms of the interest that you have to pay on your loan. Now, the difference for progressive payment is that you're only billed by the developer based on the building stage, and your installment kickstarts in small phases to the final status. And even at the TOP date, you will still enjoy a lower installment compared to a resale development under the normal payment scheme. The rationale is because at the TOP stage, there's a final payment that's still not released and usually only takes place about 9 to 12 months later to hit the CSC stage. And that's only when your full installment will kickstart. So actually for progressive payment, your interest is actually progressively increased compared to a resale project where your full installment will kickstart right when you take your keys 3 months into completion. I would enjoy this Claydence gallery tour together with us. So if you are into freehold, you love to live in District 15, I think this might be one of the rare choices that you can go for because it's not only unique, but of course it's sizable, fantastic for either a long haul investment or for your own family stay. So if you want to have a look at this place, give a call to this number right below, or you can click the link for more information. My name is Melvin Lim, PropertyLimBrothers. As always, happy to show you the place.